Hello again, Stuart Heath here, CEO and founder of Harvard Grace Capital, with episode 2 of our series on commercial real estate underwriting. And this week we're going to talk about the occupancy of the building and everything that's involved with the occupancy. Occupancy just means who's occupying the building. The opposite of occupancy is vacancy. Who's not occupying the building. And critically important, last time we talked about the physical asset. Before we start looking really hard at who's in the building, we've already determined that we like the physical asset and like the look of it and like the location and don't think it needs any massive capital expenditures. But who's in the building? Hugely important. If you think back not so many years ago during COVID, certain tenants were able to survive the pandemic and others were not. And then you had the whole thing, if you're looking at perhaps an office property, poof, everybody wanted to start working at home. And that seems to be reversing now, but companies didn't want or need office space anymore. So what you're looking for is tenants with staying power. Our own personal choice is that we like tenants in our properties that are customer facing. They are looking at, that's where they meet their customers, so to speak. So that's what we're looking at. And that goes straight to tenant quality, tenant credit quality. Who are they? How likely are they still going to be in business a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Here's the number one thing you got to remember. Whatever business your tenant is in, you're in that business too. So ask yourself, is that a business you want to be in? And don't be too narrow on that, because I've had martial arts studios and other types of businesses I never dreamed of, and they've always been really good tenants. Just be open-minded about it and drill down and take a look at the underlying healthiness of their business financially. So there's also this thing to look at called the WALT. WALT, which stands for weighted average lease term. What is the average lease term? You're looking at a property today, and you stretch out all the lease maturities over the life of those. And is it 1.5 years? Because that's not very long. Or are you +3, +4, +5 years? That's the longevity of the leases. Because when you're buying a piece of commercial property, you're actually buying the leases. That's what determines how much money you're going to make, is how good the leases are. So how long before you have to start backfilling perhaps or renewing leases? And that's sort of a double-edged sword. The longer the lease, the longer you got to wait to perhaps change renew them at market conditions. But the other side is the shorter the term, the sooner you've got to perhaps find a replacement tenant. Other thing, if the maturities to us in our underwriting are less than a year, we generally don't count them as a tenant. Sometimes we'll make it as a condition of the lease that you've got to go renew that tenant before we close. Sometimes you've got 11 months, sometimes you've got a half a month, and it's amazing how many times I have to tell sellers and property managers to go do their job, because you should be talking to tenants about renewals starting about 12 months in advance. But nevertheless, we do not underwrite and attribute any value to a lease that has less than 1 year term on it in a commercial office or retail setting. So those are the types of issues you get with in dealing with occupancy. And I hope you'll come back next time when we start talking about the financial analysis side of commercial real estate underwriting. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think.